Marcy West's coworker was called to the stand. Marcy West being the victim in this one. Let's take a listen to what her friend and coworker shared with the jury.
Did you work with a person by the name of Marcy West?
Yes, I did.
And how long had you worked with Marcy?
20 years.
And what was Marcy's role at T-Cell?
She was a unit coordinator also.
Okay. And how often would you work with Marcy?
Marcy started 20 years ago, and then she was full-time, and then she went part-time when she got married. And when she came back after having her first child, Ted, she was even more part-time. So she was what we call per diem at that time, which is you just kind of pick up the open shifts. And we had multiple open shifts.
Would you frequently work the same shift as Marcy?
I would work the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift, and Marcy would pick up the 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift.
Okay, so overlapping shifts.
Correct.
Okay. And where were you stationed? Well, did you work in close proximity to Marcy?
Yes, we sat right next to each other.
Okay. For how long?
For the whole 8 hours that she was there.
Okay. And for how many years were you in that position with Marcy?
20 years. Well, I was there 45 years.
Okay. So
Yes.
with Marcy at that...
It was 20 years, yeah.
Sitting next to Marcy for 20 years?
Correct.
Okay. All right, Connie, I'm showing you what has been marked for identification purposes as plaintiffs 1. What are those?
That's Marcy.
Is that how Marcy appeared?
Yes, and that's Marcy.
I'm sorry, don't show the exhibit to the jury until it's admitted.
And do they accurately portray how Marcy appeared in life?
Yes.
Okay. Move to admit P1.
No objections. One's admitted.
Move to publish.
Granted.
All right. So page 2 of P1. And who is that with Marcy there?
I believe that's Megan.
And page 1, is this just a better view of Marcy? And that's also Marcy.
Yes.
All right. And can you describe your working relationship with Marcy?
We sat together for 8 hours a day. We discussed lots of things. Before her death, we were planning a wedding, so we were picking dresses and flowers and venues. She was just a great person, great coworker.
And at the location where you and Marcy sat at the hospital, did you indicate that was in the emergency room?
Yes.
Okay. And would you and Marcy regularly interact with first responders that would come into the emergency room?
Where we sat in the middle of the emergency room was right by the paramedic door, where the paramedics would bring patients through.
Are you familiar with Kevin West?
Yes.
And how is it that you're familiar with him?
He was a paramedic, and he was married to Marcy.
Do you see him in the courtroom?
I do.
Can you identify him by an article of clothing he's wearing?
I'm sorry?
Can you identify him by an article of clothing he's wearing?
He's wearing a blue suit, a blue shirt, and a blue tie.
Let the record reflect that this is identified defendant.
It does.
When Kevin would come to the emergency room, how would he and Marcy interact?
He would never stop and talk with Marcy. We work in a area by where the paramedics come in. But we also work with a lot of nurses, EMT techs, that type of thing. Lots of them are married to police officers.
Objections, non-responsive.
This Dane.
Well, was that unusual from the other first responders that would come in?
Yes,
Would they regularly interact with you
yes,
and Marcy?
yes.
On average, how would you characterize their interactions that you did observe?
I'm an objection. I guess
This Dane, the objector.
In the 20 years that you've known and worked with Marcy, did she ever complain to you about having a headache or a migraine?
No,
Did you ever observe her appearing like she was suffering from a headache or a migraine?
no,
Did you ever hear her complaining of ear pain?
no.
I have no further questions.
Marcy, have any?
yes, thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Hahn, before May of 2023, you only worked with her maybe once or twice a week, isn't that right?
Correct.
And only for a few hours at a time.
8 hours, sir.
But you didn't have nearly as much contact with her as you did after May of 2023, correct?
Correct.
Now, Marcy was a pretty private person, wasn't she?
Yes,
She didn't share a lot of details about her life.
she shared some.
The question was, she didn't share a lot of details about her life, isn't that right?
Correct.
And you didn't work there 24 hours a day, correct?
Correct.
So you didn't see every time Kevin came in the door.
No,
And you didn't see them, when they were both in the same place at the same time, every time they were, right?
correct.
So when he would come in and you say he didn't stop to see her, were you near Marcy?
Yes,
Were you with Marcy?
yes,
And so he wouldn't come see her when she was with you, is that right?
yes.
Okay, that's all I have, thank you.
Redirect.
No, no.
Can the witness be excused?
Yes.
Yes.
You're free to go. Don't discuss your testimony with any other potential witness.